Guys, welcome to Live with Colin Alex. Tonight, there's going to be a very special show, ice skating on the ice, etc. Alex, I'm going to bounce it over to you. What's going on?
Hey, life is crazy. I had quite an experience last night. This friend of mine who named Adam, I'm thinking about our guest here, but this friend of mine named Alan M. Lassiter, a childhood friend of mine. I hadn't seen him since I was 5 years old, and I understand he got killed in Vietnam. And I just heard he got killed and hadn't confirmed, and I was watching a movie about Vietnam, and it came to my mind, and I said, let me go to the internet and see if I can find him. Bang, there he was. I went to the VietnamWall.com or something like that, and typed in his name. His picture came up and where he died, the date, and I had not seen him since I was 5 years old. And I still have a picture of him sitting on a pony when he was about 5. And I used to wonder over 50-some years about him dying in Vietnam, and if he did, and what I did, and I suggest everyone do this. I started going through the pictures of the people on the wall, and it put faces to all these names on the Vietnam wall that have passed away. Because you see the wall and you never think about it, but you can actually go through the pictures and you see the faces and where the people came from and their names and the date they were born and the date they died. That was quite chilling to me, to put faces to the names on the Vietnam Memorial.
For sure.
It was quite touching, and I would suggest everyone do that. And I happen to, one of the faces was a guy named George Mays that I believe I went to high school with him. I think he's the same George. So you may run into somebody that you know that may died in Vietnam that you may not know. But anyway, I just had to say that. Please, if you get a chance, go to, I think it's the VietnamWall.com, and put faces to some of those names. It's chilling and touching to see the people's faces that died to give us freedom. And I became an actor because of these people's sacrifices, and it was touching. I salute these people. Anyway, I don't want to take up too much.
Guys, welcome to Live with Colin Alex. Tonight, there's going to be a very special show, ice skating on the ice, etc. Alex, I'm going to bounce it over to you. What's going on?
Hey, life is crazy. I had quite an experience last night. This friend of mine who named Adam, I'm thinking about our guest here, but this friend of mine named Alan M. Lassiter, a childhood friend of mine. I hadn't seen him since I was 5 years old, and I understand he got killed in Vietnam. And I just heard he got killed and hadn't confirmed, and I was watching a movie about Vietnam, and it came to my mind, and I said, let me go to the internet and see if I can find him. Bang, there he was. I went to the VietnamWall.com or something like that, and typed in his name. His picture came up and where he died, the date, and I had not seen him since I was 5 years old. And I still have a picture of him sitting on a pony when he was about 5. And I used to wonder over 50-some years about him dying in Vietnam, and if he did, and what I did, and I suggest everyone do this. I started going through the pictures of the people on the wall, and it put faces to all these names on the Vietnam wall that have passed away. Because you see the wall and you never think about it, but you can actually go through the pictures and you see the faces and where the people came from and their names and the date they were born and the date they died. That was quite chilling to me, to put faces to the names on the Vietnam Memorial.
For sure.
It was quite touching, and I would suggest everyone do that. And I happen to, one of the faces was a guy named George Mays that I believe I went to high school with him. I think he's the same George. So you may run into somebody that you know that maybe died in Vietnam that you may not know. But anyway, I just had to say that. Please, if you get a chance, go to, I think it's the VietnamWall.com and put faces to some of those names. It's chilling and touching to see the people's faces that died to give us freedom. And I became an actor because of these people's sacrifices, and it was touching. I salute these people. Anyway, I don't want to take up too much time. We got a great guest tonight, but I just had to tell everybody that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's awesome.
All right. So, Kyle, everything okay over there with you?
Everything's fine. Everything's rocking and rolling. It's a beautiful, nice 115 degrees in Tucson today. Very hot. Okay.
Raining a little bit, so that might cool it off.
Tonight.
What do we have tonight?
Yes, we have a former line captain as well as a principal performer for Disney on Ice, Fellow Entertainment's Disney on Ice show. I'm so excited. Please welcome Adam Loosley, everybody. What's up, Adam?
Hello. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Adam?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love that face, too, man. Doesn't he have a great face, man? Smile, too.
So, I've been a fan of Disney on Ice ever since.
Actually, you do have a Disney smile.
You know, you just need that little ding when it's like
Smile and
right
All right.
So, how'd you get started in ice skating? Let's just kick off with that.
Okay, I'm going to start right at the beginning. Okay, let's see. Well, I grew up in a really small town in Canada called Petrolia, Ontario, and I grew up in a skating family. Both my mom and my dad were both skating coaches. My older brother skated as well. So I kind of grew up in the arena, in that atmosphere, and I grew to really, really love it. And from there, I began training in my hometown, and also the city that was near us, Sarnia. And I had a great coach, Mark, who's like a second father to me. And throughout my high school career, I was competing nationally for Canada, which was fantastic. But I have to say, my favorite part was always the ice show and being able to do a show at the end of the season. And it only came once. So I was like, how can I do this all the time? And I was actually about to call it quits. I was going to hang up my skates. I was on my way to school to become an elementary school teacher. That was my path at the time. And this show came through town called Celebration on Ice. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like a Christmas version of Stars on Ice. And it was full of my heroes, Kurt Browning, Brian Orser. I don't know how many people you still know, but those were my heroes growing up. I absolutely loved watching them skate and perform. And that show was coming through town, and they asked for local talent. And I had the opportunity to skate in that show with all of my heroes, this local talent. And it was just one show. And after the show, I sent in an audition tape to Disney on Ice. And 3 weeks later, I was in Scotland, and my entire life changed.
Wow.
I actually happened to notice a quote that was on one of the pictures that we were showing. And the quote says, talent will get you in the door, but character will keep you in the room. I love that. As an actor, I know exactly what that means, and it is so true.
Yeah, and it can be applied in whatever direction you choose. You know, if you are a banker, if you work down at Target, if you're going to be a professional performer, an actor, or you're going to work in finance, if you have good character and you're someone that is a team player and people want to work with, oh, well, that's what keeps you in the room, and that is so important. I use that a lot in what I'm doing now, and the people I'm working with, young performers. If they understand that perspective.
Yes. I've never heard it put so eloquently. As an actor, you know, you go in the room and you do your audition and your whole thing, you hope you got it, but that character will keep you in the room.
That's right.
Now, I've been a fan of Disney on Ice ever since High School Musical, The Ice Tour, etc. And then I started working with Rhino.
Shows, Kyle.
Yes, I started working with Rhino and kind of got to do the load-ins and kind of behind the scenes type of things, which is kind of cool. And it's all about Disney. Everybody loves Disney. Loves the corporation. What's it like life on the road?
Well, it's a big question. Life on the road, I still absolutely love it. I toured for 15 years until just recently. I'm here at my place in Tampa, Florida, that I've owned for years but never lived in because I have been living my life on the road, and I hope to get back to it. However, life on the road, let me see, where do I start? It's very fast-paced, fun. There's always an element of change that really challenges you to stay malleable and adapt to wherever your surroundings are and wherever you're working with. It really is, I always felt like life on the road is kind of life and fast forward. So much happens in a small period of time. But I would say my favorite part of life on the road are the people. I have met some amazing people. It takes a certain person to come on the road or to go on an adventure like joining a tour and living out of 2 suitcases for 10 months and a different city each week. It takes a certain amount of courage, it takes a certain amount of sense of adventure, and not to mention you're working with really creative people from all over the world. We had 16 different countries represented on my last cast with a wide range of skill sets. Just a super talented group of really strong, fun individuals. And I always stayed on the road for so long because the people were unbelievable, and I've made friends all over the world. And it is your tour family. So life on the road is fun. Life on the road is in fast forward. You have a lot you can learn quickly. But what I try to do now, and I've just started this performance consulting, I try to really promote life on the road because there are so many ways of living life on the road successfully. When you can continue to move forward while being on life, there's a lot of options for you to grow in your career, but as a person on the road. I love it. I want to go back.
What are some of the challenges that you would go through, say, in skating or on the road? What are some of the challenges that you come across?
Well, challenges right away. So in my last 5 years on the road with Disney on Ice, I was a performance director. I had a 10-year performance career, and then I started directing, and I would work closely with the cast and the technicians as well to put together a beautiful show every single time. But life in live entertainment is challenging and exciting because you just don't know. I mean, I know you guys understand, but you don't know what's going to happen every show. We have 10 shows a week, and there are so many different variables, and you have to kind of work on your feet, whether it's a power problem, well, that can shut down the entire show, or maybe the sound stops, or maybe a quick change isn't going very well, or maybe a light is not working the way you want it to work. Those things that come up can make it really, really challenging, but it was also so exciting. I loved that part of the job because you just never knew. A 2-hour show is going to start. You have usually around 6,000 people in the audience. It's exciting, and you're the one behind the headset that is going to help figure out how to keep it going if it comes to a stop, and how to keep it going and still look great. So those kind of moments were very exciting. I would definitely go home some nights and like, didn't expect that one.
Moments are really nice. Yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
You tell your children and grandchildren.
Exactly.
Moments. I love those. Like it's been this guy was telling me some of those eyebrow moments where you.
Yeah, okay. But and then you never know how you're going to react in those moments too. And I was in a headset, so what comes out of your mouth in a moment that you have to react can be really telling. You know, what comes out, how are you going to say? And I was worried when I first got the position to be a performance director that in a moment of crisis, would I know what to say and how to coordinate and the steps, the order of operation to fix things and get things back on its feet? Do I know, or am I going to panic? Am I just going to go silent? And then, so I didn't know. You don't know until you know. I ended up having confidence in myself because I always knew what to do in the moment. And then you learn to trust yourself. And then it's like, okay, bring it on. We can do this because I have a great team of people. And I'm not alone. I had a really strong team of people always
It's amazing.
But it is a good moment when you can learn to trust yourself to react appropriately in high stress situations.
Because we have a tendency to freeze and, oh, wait a minute, should I do that? Or no, wait a minute, what is somebody going to think? Maybe I shouldn't say that. You trust yourself, you just go do it.
Right, and be decisive too. There were a couple moments in the last show I was on. It was called Mickey's Search Party, and it was a mix between skating and acrobatics. So there was a lot of high risk elements and flying through the air. There was a lot of technical elements that you really had to watch closely. And there were certain moments in the show that if something didn't go right, I was able to make a plan B choice. But I usually had only about 15 seconds to make that choice. I had a 15-second window. So imagine, sitting watching a very exciting show and having to seeing something happen that maybe wasn't planned, and then you have 15 seconds to react, and then for the technicians to press the right button so things can continue and sync up, whether it was sound or video or lighting. So I always said it was, that 15 seconds that you gotta be decisive. And then once you make the choice, you gotta go, but all in.
Speaking of steps and stuff, how do you choreograph an ice show?
Okay. So you said you saw a High School Musical, The Ice Tour, right?
I did.
So that was one of my favorite shows. I played Ryan Evans in that show, Sharpay's brother. No one ever knows who Ryan is, but they know Sharpay, which is kind of key to his character. But anyway, that show was super cool because when they choreographed it, they actually hired a choreographer from the movie, the same choreographer that came and worked with the cast to choreograph the ice show. Now, they coordinated that choreographer with an ice choreographer as well. So it was Chucky Claypow was the choreographer of High School Musical, the movies with Kenny Ortega. And then they hired Cindy Stewart, which is the Disney on Ice choreographer. And they collaborated and came together. So she was able to translate the choreography that he had already done on the floor from the movie to the ice. And I thought that was pretty neat. So once they collaborate, they have this time called pre-production. And they get on the ice with a few skaters, usually the leadership team, the line captains. I was a line captain, the performance director, and a couple people in the cast that are going to help install the show with the rest of the group. And they'll work through and they'll start at the very beginning, start fooling around with the music, start seeing things in different people to see what they like and what's working. And then they start creating pattern books and shapes on the ice, because when you choreograph an ice show, the space there was a lot of traffic, and people are going fast. You have to map out that traffic for it to be safe, but also if you're sitting up high in the arena, so that all the shapes on the ice are really pleasing to watch, and that staging and traffic is all part of coming up with the actual dance and choreography. So there's a lot of different layers, right from pre-production, right from concepts to pre-production to the installation with the rehearsal build, and then we get the show up on its feet. So the whole process of creating a brand new show takes a full year with the producers. There's also every other technical element, but the choreography itself from concept starts in July, and then they open the show in September. So that's kind of that window they have as the creative team to get the show up and running and install them, the cast.
Now, you just brought up something I have to ask about. Now, when you're coordinating the show, and I know the costumes, the wardrobe, some of the costumes, wardrobe there, they're pretty elegantly flamboyant,
Okay.
You might have a 20, I'm guessing, I don't know how big the costumes are, how much they weigh, but you have this weight on you sometimes, and you have to stay on these ice skates and balance the costume with your weight and maybe turn around and flip and people going by fast. You have to, quite challenging.
Oh, yes. And challenging and humorous. The process of getting comfortable with the costumes is hilarious.
You stay on the thin blade on the ice.
It's not easy, that's for sure.
It seems impossible.
Well, yeah, and I mean, some four-legged creatures come out of Disney on Ice too, and you just kind of go, how's that happening?
I have 2 legs that can't do it. The 4 legs, no.
My favorite costume ever is Ham from Toy Story 2, the baby pig that comes out. Hilarious. costume is so good. Everyone in the audience, that's the number one question they ask me every time. Like, how's that? What's that? Because they're trying to work it out. How is that actually happening? Yeah, the costume department in Felder Entertainment, which is nice, is incredible. And they work hours and hours and hours to make costumes work as comfortably as possible. But here's the bottom line: is sometimes you're like, okay, what am I doing today? I got to put on this sail that makes maybe bigger than me. Actually, I'll tell you this story. This is one of my favorite stories. When I was a performer on The Incredibles, and a Magic Kingdom Adventure, I remember the director was telling me what this moment was supposed to be, and she's like, okay, you're gonna stand behind this curtain here, and we're gonna fill it up with smoke, and we're gonna open the curtain, but you're not gonna know it opened because you're gonna have smoke all around you. So you just have to trust that it's open. You just gotta skate forward. I'm like, okay. And then she's like, when you get out there, we're gonna have you skate around these barrels, kind of like an obstacle course. We're gonna have to go around there. I'm like, okay, got it. She's like, but you're not gonna be able to see them very well. I'm like, okay, got it. and then she said, okay, she's gonna put this head on. It's got these goggles, so the vision's kind of low. I'm like, oh, okay. And then finally, she said, there's also gonna be water that sprays from the perimeter. It's gonna spray on you, so you're gonna feel some wetness. It might also create some vision. I'm like, and then she said, okay, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good luck.
I'm blind, and now you good luck with this house.
What? I got a what? Okay, sure. So that was really funny, but those kind of moments happen a lot. And you know what? You make it work, and it's fun. It's fun to figure out how. But there, you have to laugh about it sometimes. What you have to try, the trial and error to make the magic happen is hilarious. And you might be anything from a superhero to a prince and princess to a potato. You don't know what you're going to be and what you're going to be wearing. So, Alex, you're right to ask that question because the costumes are a whole nother layer, pun intended, and it's a big one. It's and when they create the productions, we get it all sorted, right? And then they layer in the costumes. Well, then the whole choreography, production, everything takes us a huge step back for a few weeks while everyone adapts to how cumbersome the costumes are, how they have to move differently with their physical animation to bring things alive. And things have to change. You have to adapt. That's part of the creative process. But it's fun. You have to laugh through it, but it's also challenging. And quick changes, you'd be surprised how fast you can get in and out of costume.
And with all that, you got to stay on that little thin blade. You got to balance. That always makes me. I can't ice skate. My ankles wouldn't let me. Staying on that little blade. Couldn't do it.
Are you sure? I bet you I could get you ice skating, Alex. What about you, Kyle? Do you ice skate?
I can't. I've tried. I probably. Maybe.
I'd like to see that, Kyle. I'd like to see you try.
Well, get me to an ice rink. We don't have anyone in Tucson, so.
Yeah.
You don't have it?
That's one problem we don't have, is that we don't have an ice rink nearby.
Okay.
I was going to say, I skated in Tucson this year. I know there's ice somewhere there.
Yeah. Ice is definitely not on the road or on the street.
Find Your Light. It's a new thing you just started.
Find Your Light.
Yeah, what is it?
Okay, so Find Your Light Performance Consulting. This is something that was a way of me still being able to share what I have learned over the past 15 years of being on the road and being a professional ice skater and being a director and being able to work with so many talented individuals. And as a performance director, I was really able to be a part of people's experience coming to a show and making sure that it was as positive as an experience as I had. And that was my favorite part of the job this changed my life. Performing with the show and joining productions like this changed the whole course of my career, my life, the people I met. And it was such a positive experience for me. And as a performance director, I was able to share that and guide people to have successful lives on the road as professional performers. So starting this, because of COVID-19 and things came to a bit of a halt, of course, live entertainment took a big hit. So this was a way of me being able to continue doing what I do best and what I love, is to really make sure that everyone can find their light, in their own way, and be their absolute best. And this has been a way way of spotlighting as well wonderful performers in the business that I've been able to work with, that I really believe in. They come on and we do a Zoom call just like this, and we talk through their story, and it's always fascinating to hear people's stories. I always find that fascinating, especially other performers, to see how they were able to know their strengths and find their light in their own way and celebrate that. So those spotlight classes have been really great. But I've also been able to do Find Your Light Masterclass, which is exactly what I just talked about, is finding your light and being your best. And along the way, we give them performance tools like projection and reach and facial and physical animation and storytelling. All of these things that they can work on right now as their journey to their spotlight begins. So those master classes and the spotlight classes are something that I'm doing now, but I also do one-on-ones as well. So performers around the world have been sending me videos of their, whether it's skating or dance or acrobatics, and I'm able to provide feedback to them to help bring their performance to the next level. And those one-on-ones are really, really cool. And I've worked with some super talented people that I've never met in person, so I've really enjoyed extending that network. And it's just really been a positive experience, and it's just a way of me sharing that and continuing to share it, even though live entertainments are at a halt right now. So I definitely invite everyone to find their light with me and message me for any upcoming Zoom calls, and keep your eye out for who I'm spotlighting each week, because there's been some incredible inspiration and great people that have come on to really tell their stories, and I hope people walk away feeling motivated, inspired, and just positive. And who doesn't want just a really positive thing right now? We all need a little bit more positive.
Yeah.
We need a lot, so why not?
Yeah. So how can people message you? Where can they find you? Some information where people can reach you?
I love that question. They can email me, adamwdl@hotmail.com. But also I'm on every social media network, from LinkedIn to Facebook to Twitter to Instagram, and find Adam Loosley and send me a direct message, and we can work something out. And feel free to share if you already are in my network and you see my posts that I'm putting out there. Feel free to share that so I can extend that and reach more people. What's been fantastic is I have a network in place of performers for the past 15 years, and coaches and skaters, and I've been able to really tap into those networks and get a really good response. So it's been really fun.
Yeah, sounds fun. With the whole COVID-19 pandemic, as me personally, as the promoter perspective, and etc. When do you think live entertainment is going to happen? I know Mickey's Search Party, the new one that just came out. That one's scheduled to come to Arizona in October.
Right.
But how do we know if the world's going to be back better by then?
Yeah, well, I don't know the answer. I wish I did. I don't know the answer to tell you, but I can tell you this. Live entertainment, whether it's Disney on Ice or concerts or all the beautiful people that work in live entertainment, are really, really creative people.
Sure.
So I have such faith in them being able to adapt and create a plan in place that works for whatever the world is at that time. I have really a lot of faith in that, and I strongly believe that live entertainment and events, they're not going away. We just have to adapt. We have to change, but that's okay. We're good at that. Change can be hard, but we're good at that. We have to be good at that. So we all have to accept change. We all have to adapt. So let's be creative and find a way that we can come back strong.
Yeah. COVID-19 has brought creativity to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
People are creating now that never thought they could ever create. They're forced to create.
Right. On platforms I would never imagine.
Yeah, this show came out of COVID-19. Kyle came to me with this idea, and because of COVID-19, I said, let's do it.
Well, so all the stage shows that I've been doing kind of just, like you said, been postponed. So I kind of went to Alice, hey, let's do like a Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel type of show, and let's bring on all these cool different guests, and it took it off like crazy.
Yeah,
that's amazing, and that's where Find Your Light came from this COVID-19 time as well. So why not? try something new. Everyone, this is an opportunity for all of us to really pivot and adapt. So we're creative people. Let's
make it happen.
flex those muscles, those creative muscles right now. Might as well.
Alex, you got anything else from Mr. Adam?
I have one other question.
Sure.
I'm curious. Who was or is or your inspiration? Any who inspired you? How did you come up? Help you be who you are.
There have been a lot of fantastic mentors in my life, for sure. Right away, as soon as you asked that question, the first one that pops in my head was my grandfather. And he was just a man of such character, and his heart was always in the right place. And I've always really looked up to him and how he lived his life. He was the mayor of the city that he grew up in. He was always just a natural leader. He knew what to say, he said it eloquently. So he's always been an inspiration for how to just live life positively and a grateful life. For my more immediate career, I had a fantastic mentor. His name was Gates Saruno. He was a performance director. He was a performer as well, and a performance director. I worked as his line captain for many years, and I really look up to him and how he led his show, and I really just learned everything from him. And when I had the opportunity to step into a performance director position, he was my mentor, and he still is. I still call him if I need advice, and he's always just been a huge support to me, and I really appreciate that. And I think it's important for all performers, skaters, all performers. It takes a village. It really does, right? It takes a village of people behind you. So I think it's important that everyone understands, whether it's mom and dad driving you to the arena for hours and hours and hours over and over and over and sitting and watching you for hours, or it's someone in the arena that inspired you, or someone that was really encouraging growing up when you were training, a really great coach, performance director, a fellow performer. All these people, it takes a village to inspire us, and why not go through life making sure that we're grateful for everyone. If we take a grateful approach, I mean, isn't that just beautiful?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Very inspiring. Very
Great.
inspiring.
And that's Adam Loosley.
That's me. Find your love.
To say that one more time, let everybody know that. And really, really thank you for coming on here. Really, you kind of inspired me. Maybe I want to try to get on that little thin blade and balance a little bit.
I say go for it. Why not? This is the time. Try new things.
Yeah. There you go. But
Thank you both so much.
No, Adam, thank you. Appreciate it.
yeah, really appreciate you, kiddo.
Alex,
Yes, sir.
we're going back to stage shows a little bit, but virtually. We got 4 of them coming up. We've got a brand new comedy show happening right here on Zoom. It's going to be totally interactive. We've got Josh Novi coming on as headlining the show, where you're basically in the Zoom call itself, and we're going to pick on you. You can call. We found a way to actually bring you into the screen, into the show, and totally have a whole interactive part of it. So that's happening August 15th, and tickets are on sale for $5 per household. Not per person, it's per household. So anyone in your family can watch.
So they can pack 100 people in their house.
And they can watch on the big screen. Unreal. Unreal. For $5. Unbelievable.
Now, I
think it's
gotta
a great
say,
deal.
yes. Kyle, I gotta say, you come up with some good stuff. I gotta give Kyle the credit. He comes up with this stuff. I don't do it. Kyle is.
Not only that, but we also have a magic show, Christian Ford out of Las Vegas on the 22nd. Live with Kyle and Alex B on the show, which is going to be the 21st, where people can actually come on the show with us and interact. And Halloween, the day before Halloween, we're going to scare you from your own house. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
You see what I'm saying about Kyle? You see? But I tell you, Kyle, my hat's off. Well, my hair is off to you.
You can buy those tickets at ramsdenlive.com.
All right. What was that address again?
ramsdenlive.com.
All right.
So
Yes.
that's that. And then we also have our merchandise. We have Live with Kyle and Alex merch. We got mugs, we got masks, we got in there we have it. So that can also be found on that website as well.
A pillow too.
And a pillow.
Yes.
It's happening. It's happening. It's happening, world.
I like those pillows. Different pillows, different sizes.
Absolutely,
and stuff,
absolutely.
Kyle, Kyle, yeah.
We're bringing the industry back to
I was
virtual
like
though.
you when I was 21. 10,000 years ago when I was 21.
It's a hard business, Alex. It's a hard business.
Yeah,
It's good working.
You know, it's hard being Kyle. You know. Okay.
Alex, anything on your end before we shut down the show tonight?
Hey, I just want to thank Adam once again and say I really appreciate being around you guys. I really do.
Likewise.
Extraordinarily thank you.
Be sure to tune in to Live with Kyle and Alex every Monday and Friday on YouTube, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Pacific Standard Time. Subscribe, like, and comment. Alex, anything else?
Good evening.
Good night, everybody. See you later.
That was an Alfred Hitchcock imitation, but some of us wouldn't know that. Good night, folks. Really nice.